This is the Black Powder Podcast, coming at you live and direct.
Your salty tears season my life. It's the Black Powder Podcast.
Thank you.
Somebody has
I
to
didn't
speak.
know.
Hello. We're gonna do the next 45 minutes saying nothing. Just.
Well, that would be perfect because this country's become idiocracy, and in that movie, the movie was called ASS. I'm saying that. Well, ass is in the Bible. They talk about writing one, but not in that sense.
Not the way you're using it.
Yeah. This is the Black Powder Podcast, the only real libertarian podcast that has ever existed in the space-time continuum. I am one of your hosts, Marcus Matthews, the only real libertarian. I kind of like to call myself the godfather of libertarianism. I'm not the originator, but you know, if it wasn't for me, I'm not sure the movement would have such a bold impact on society as it's having right now.
Wait,
and I'm joined.
if it wasn't for you, we'd hold offices. Is that what you're saying?
You're holding us back?
And that's it for sub today.
It sounds like Marcus is saying in the 52 years now, no, 54 years. In the 54 years that it's been a party, Marcus has been holding us back for at least half of them.
Exactly. Marcus, bye. Hey, I'm Eric Parker. I'm another host.
Yeah.
Whenever you say you're the godfather of libertarianism, are you trying to say like you're not afraid to leave a horse head in someone's bed? Was that movie or was that
Well, yeah, that is that.
That was Godfather.
Yeah. So or what else? What's another like very memorable scene to that movie? But I mean, is that what you're bringing to the table?
I'm making offers they can't refuse.
Hey, can you do? Remember when he goes, "Look what they did to my boy." Can you do? Hey, look what they done to my country. Can you do something like that? That'd be pretty cool.
I got to be honest with you. I think Godfather the movie is and 2 and 3 are boring. If I want to go to sleep, if I want to go to sleep, I'll put those on.
I feel like that's one of those movies that made people say the second and third, whatever.
Hold on, because you phased out a little bit. All right, hang on. So it went wonky there for a second, Marcus. What did you say? Did you say they were boring?
They're
2
boring.
And 3.
Oh no, all of them. I don't.
No.
All right.
No, absolutely not. Okay.
Yeah.
So when we were just,
it's because it's just because it's not Boys in the Hood,
and on the way,
or sorry, it wasn't Juice.
Because right, listen,
that's where we're going.
These are real gangsters, not that fake stuff y'all got going on. Real gangsters.
Not a baby boy.
So
actually, baby boy. Is that what your neck of the woods is like? Baby boy?
Oh, I gotta share this on Eric's Facebook. So go ahead and talk.
Are we allowed to now? Like, so
yeah.
So here's the thing: when we were flying back,
I think you're.
What happened?
There's something wrong with your. Oh, he's already talking about us being late. Comment. He's already like, see, look, no one takes us serious.
So. Can y'all hear me okay?
Yeah, you had sputtered out for a minute, but okay. I got the
it's because I was trying to explain to you that when we were coming back from Portugal, you get your own little screens now as you're watching. So I was able to watch Godfather 1 and 2 on the way back. Dude, now I'll tell everybody, Godfather 2 should actually be watched before Godfather 1.
Oh.
And the only thing that bothers me more in this than the fact that what you said, Marcus, was the fact that Eric has really no idea at all.
No, I've seen them, but and I think 1 is definitely better than 2 and 3. But 2, Al Pacino plays him or no?
Yeah.
Am I getting this all jacked up?
Yeah. So listen,
it's like a prequel, right?
Yes.
Do they do a good
2
job?
explains why 1 happened. Yes.
Do they do a good job of setting it up? Because
they do an amazing job.
Blah,
Listen, Godfather 2 is one of the greatest movies of all time.
2 is better than 1. Are you saying that?
Yep.
Is it
That's
better
exactly
than
what I'm saying.
Goodfellas? Is it better than Goodfellas?
You know what, Marcus? Just end the podcast now. You have no idea about white cinema, all right?
Yeah.
My bad. I've been all about.
Look,
Spike
Marcus,
Lee
white cinema has more than Titanic, okay?
Or that's
or
one
more
movie
than
I've never
the
seen.
Patriot, but I'd rather
seen
watch
that a
the
few
Patriot
times.
over.
Watch something other than New Jack City, and we'll be fine.
Okay, that's the second New
They're
Jack City
gonna
reference
kill
of the night. I want to explain to everybody what we're doing tonight. We have a guest that's supposed to be coming on, Wendy Higdon from the great state of Kentucky, running for the Kentucky State Senate. She has a live event tonight, so she will be checking in with us. She'll be coming on soon enough, but in the meantime, we're going to let Tub, this is why Tub's standing up tonight, because he wants to upstage Eric and I. But Tub has some libertarian stuff on his mind that he wanted to bring to your attention. Before we do that, Marcus is thinking the Dogfather. Snoop Dogg, I've seen, you know what? I'm not even going to go there. I'm going to say hi to Terry. Hey, Terry.
Oh, that was good.
I don't like you people ganging up on me tonight.
Including 3. Just kidding.
All right.
I'm sorry, could you elaborate on you people?
Cookies, crackers.
Cracker?
I heard a new one today, and please.
Is it
I'm pretty bold. I'm going to say it. Palm
ahead.
people.
Palm
people.
Palm?
Because our palms, our fronts match the back?
No, see, I'm right here, black people, and this is palm.
Because the color of our palms are almost similar.
The color of our palms
don't match.
Yeah, I'm saying. No. But my palm and your palm is probably the same color, brother.
See, we're all the same. Look, we're all the same, Marcus.
No, I am strictly.
Look, we're the same.
I am a Mandingo warrior from the.
I don't know
West
that means what you think it means. But anyways, all right, Tub. So,
Jinx.
What do you got on your mind? And I kind of want to let you do your thing. And then I would also like to segue that into hey, what can the Libertarian Party do past that to make us a viable party? But I think your idea is a good way to start. Let's see what other people think. So chime in the comments. Tub, what you got?
Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I made a video, and I don't like to make videos, but I posted it probably a couple weeks ago almost now. All right, so here's what I'm going to do. All right, I'm going to mention names in this conversation, but it's not like a name dropping type of thing. I want you to understand where the ideas are coming from and who's technically on board with it. Okay, so that's why I say this. So I always have this issue about how we pick our presidential candidate so late. We start behind everybody. And so I've been for years, I've been like, how do we move that up? How do we get our guy sooner? And so you always get the same excuses. There's always state conventions that some of them run later and we got to give them a chance to get it all the same. And it's always an excuse because let's be very clear. The Libertarian Party is full of excuses. We'll always you come up with an idea. This is why I get mad at the Republicans, because you give certain people an idea and all they want to do is shoot it down. They just want to say, no, we can't. And libertarians are notorious for that. They just shoot it down without giving it a chance. Or we'd rather do nothing and complain than try something and see how it goes. So here's what was happening. So I was sitting in my living room, as I often do, and I'm just sitting there, and it's hitting me. I'm just kind of thinking, like, how do we do this sooner? So at that point right there, here's what I did. I texted Spike, and I said, listen, I said, is there a law or a bylaw that prevents us from picking our presidential and vice presidential candidates sooner? And as I sent that text, right then I'm like, wait a minute, I'm gonna, and all honesty, I'm like, wait, I'm gonna text Stephen DeKayla and ask him. He would definitely know if there's anything that prevents it. So as I'm getting ready to text Stephen, Spike calls me, and Spike goes, listen, he goes, it's just way too much to text. So he's like, I figured I'd talk to you. So this is where the idea started, and then as we talked, we kind of built on it a little bit. Okay, so here's the premise of it. So the goal is, okay, get our candidates sooner. So the way I was thinking it is it should be like October or November or so of the year prior. So technically, so for an election in 28, we should have our candidate in like October and November of 27.
Yeah.
So here's what happens. So here's what we can do. We can basically do like a straw poll, if you will, at every state convention. Okay, so you can have your candidates in every state will then do their poll at their convention, and they can start. So what it basically turns into is a primary, but it's a primary within our own party as opposed to let the government get involved. So we do it inside of our thing. Now, here's the beauty of this. So what will happen is, like, we'll use Florida, for example. So Florida gets, I think it's like 63 or 64 national delegates. Okay, but in state, we have way more than that. So what could happen then is if each state convention is able to have a vote, every delegate to your state convention gets to vote for their choice of a presidential candidate. So now they have more influence and input than just the ones that get sent to national. So first off, what that's going to do is going to draw people into the state conventions. They go, oh, I get a chance to actually have input. Even if I have no desire to go to national, I can still have input on who our presidential candidate will be. So here's what happens now. Now, what that's going to do is force the candidates to come out sooner. Now they start going, well, wait a minute. I want to win states, and I want to be able, like, we'll use Florida again. Like, if we have 4 or 5 candidates, they've all come out and said, okay, fine, I want to run. Now they got to hit the states and start going, okay, well, wait a minute. I won Florida. So if I won Florida, I'm going all around the country to these other states and their primaries, basically their conventions, and go, I won Florida. I have X amount of delegates, we'll say. I have X amount of delegates. And now they can pivot that to all around the country, to all these different things. Here's the beauty of it. Let's say I lose Florida, but I realize I can go to New England, hit all 5, 6 of those area states up there and grab all of those delegates. And so now I got just as many as that guy who won Florida. So here's what happens. So now at that point right there, they can go to national convention and go, hey, I'm the front runner here. I've kind of beat all these guys out. The beauty of that is that we're there. By the time we ever get anywhere near national convention, we've probably had a number of people who start dropping out because they start going, you know what? I got nothing here. I've been around the country. The people know me. I've done the things. I got nothing here. I don't have the delegate vote. Okay. So at that point right there, it starts narrowing down. Now, here's what we're able to do. So let's just say this, for example. So let's say we get our candidate, and here's what I want to stress. Presumed candidate. Okay, everything that starts happening like from October or November when we choose them, because we'll have a front runner, and our front runner will be our presumed candidate. Now that presumed candidate from October all the way until national convention, when it's confirmed, can go out there and do all of the things. They can get on the news. They can do interviews. Now, every time they go, it's very clear. This is the presumptive candidate. This is the assumed candidate. Presumptive is best. This is the presumptive candidate. Here's the beauty of this. So let's say in October through May or so, they get out there, they start doing the things we go, this person sucks. This person is not doing what we want them to do on the national level. Okay. Now, guess what? Now, when national comes around, you can go, wait a minute, that candidate's been out there for 4 or 5 months, not helping us at all. We can still dump that candidate. We can still now go to national convention, and we can do it the way that we always do it. And so in reality, nothing changes at national. National still has to confirm it no matter what. National still confirms. But if we have that candidate out there, he's not doing good, we can go, hey, not this one. And it doesn't hurt us at all because then we're just going to be where we are every other time. So there's nothing to lose inside of it. So now we have our candidate out there 6, 7 months almost, sometimes depending on when we go to convention, which is usually Memorial Day weekend. So now they've been already out there. Now we are 6, 7 months. And if you think about it, this is no different than the Republicans and Democrats do. Remember, they kind of know who their candidate is going to be. When they finally go to their national convention, it's just confirmation. You know, like that candidate's already been out there. They've already been campaigning. They've been already bringing all the attention. They go into convention. They just go, yep, this is our guy. So technically, it's no different, but we would be that far ahead of the game because we need every bit of help that we can get with our presidential candidates. So I look at it and go, because you start giving November, December, guess what you just did? You stole the news. Now you're out there because none of these other ones are out there. Now we don't have the duopolies candidates out there yet. So we can run the news a little bit. We can get out there and do things. So I look as I go, here's the play. So it brings more attention to state conventions because now every single delegate gets a chance to vote towards a presidential candidate because it will then draw the candidates to these state ones because ultimately they want to have the numbers that they can be the candidate. So now it draws attention in many ways to the state parties nationally, and it gives campaign and fundraising time. But once again, if it doesn't work, we didn't lose anything. So we kind of, as Spike and I were talking about this, we were beating it all around like, hey, this is great. And we came up with some of these ideas. That's when I said, okay. And I talked to Stephen DeCala. And I started explaining it to him. And I said, listen, I said, what do you find as the biggest problem? What would make this not work? And the one thing that he said is then the answer that we came up with when him and I were talking, he says, listen, he goes, National's not going to want to give up that much power to just let the states take it, which we could argue, well, what's really the libertarian aspect inside of that? But I get what he's saying. That's when we go, fine. We don't. It's not final until confirmed at national. So national still gets the final say in who the candidate is. So at that point right there, he says, hey, do me a favor. He says, kick this over to the LNC's affiliate support. So I've been emailing back and forth now with Travis Boast. And I think we're setting up our call, I think, for the beginning of next week or so. So that we can say, okay, guys, here's what we do. Now, how do we actively sell this to the state conventions? And if nothing else, you sell it on the aspect of you'll get candidates in your state. You'll get more people involved at your state convention. And so you have nothing to lose and a lot of things to gain outside of it. So that's where we have left off with the whole process. This is what we talk about. This is where we've landed. Now, I will ask you two. Let's start with this. Let's start with what do you think would not work? What would be the problem of that we go, hey, we'd have to change this or work on that? Who wants to go first?
So I more have questions than rebuttal or devil's advocate per se.
Okay.
But I thought I remembered someone saying something about the state law in the state of Texas requires their convention to be after the Republican National Convention. Some weird law about. But that doesn't mean, and so here's a two-part question. We're saying that, and correct me if I'm wrong, we're going to choose it at the state convention the year before the election year. And I love that idea because then you're not cramming, all these conventions in a few months in an election year. And then, sometimes your candidate's going to have to choose which state he's going to have to play strategically. He's got to, have his finger on his pulse. Maybe he's doing some type of independent polling, that's what I'm saying. Like that really gives it some legitimacy. Now I imagine, let's hypothetically say we had all the same candidates. Let's go back. We tried this in 2024. It would have meant at the 2023 state convention for Florida, they would have done a straw poll. And is that the convention they choose to send delegates to national? That is the rule change, is we're choosing to send our delegates to national the year before. The state convention, the state of Florida still has to have a state convention in 2024 to maintain an active party. So every state has to communicate this to their voters somehow, like, hey, if you want to be a delegate to national in 2024, you need to show up to 2023's state convention to become a delegate. And that choosing delegates might get more contentious than the straw poll. And it kind of reminds me of, there's a new show on Netflix about James Garfield and how has anyone heard about this? Struck by Lightning or whatever. It's more about his life and how he was assassinated. But he went to the National Republican Convention to speak on behalf of and endorse some other guy. And there at convention, he gave such a good speech that all of the convention's like, yo, this is our guy. You know what I mean? So something like that could still happen if you had a guy hang on and he's not very popular and he makes it all the way to the national convention and he gives us that Jacob Hornberger speech and he like burns the house down with it. It's an amazing speech and everyone says, yeah, but we know that didn't happen for Jacob Hornberger. But you get my point, like, so that's my point.
Everything's back up right there.
You still have to send the delegates, and the delegates could still last minute change their mind at national, or they could be pulling the wool over your eyes, not telling you how they love a certain guy, but they're like, I'm a little on the fence, or I like these three, but they know who they're really voting for. You get my point? It still matters. The delegates still will go to national and confirm.
Yep.
I haven't said whether I like the idea. Let's say that. I think there's some logistics. Each state, I think, has to make that decision is the problem. They need to know, and are the states choosing the delegates, and is national going to choose the candidate the year before? That's the important part, right? Like, we're not going to let the states choose a year before, but still in 2024, let the states choose in 2023.
All right, so let's,
or whatever. I'm speaking in
past.
Let's
use the upcoming election, 28. Okay.
Well,
so what will happen?
So
it's easier. So think of it this way. So usually we're pretty early, like we're usually like February or so right around there. Sometimes January. Okay, so let's say Florida does theirs in January, and the January 27 convention. That's when they'll start saying, hey, who are our people? Who are we willing to do stuff along these lines? And each one will follow through 27. And then by the time you get to October of 27, October, November, by then, and maybe here's what happens. People start saying, hey, I got to hurry up and get my convention in because I would be an active part of this. And so then by the time you get to October, November of 27, all the states have done their things. You know what I'm saying? So it's like what you said. Yeah. We're not trying to cram it all in right before we do our national. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Now we know.
But is the national convention in the year 2027, regardless what time of year it is?
There is no national convention in 27.
So that's what I'm saying is all of this is going to happen, but it's still going to, the candidate still isn't going to get chosen. And can we do it? Could we move the national convention?
Actually,
we still don't know who the guy is officially until Memorial Day weekend or whatever it is.
Right. Actually, I think Steven said they were already looking at moving the 28 convention up a little bit in the year. Okay.
Well, I would like for it to be in like January. Give us as much time as possible. Like first of the year, get it over with, rip the Band-Aid off. This is our guy. You know what I mean? Or gal.
Right. So, now, here's the thing. So the idea of October, November, knowing our presumptive gives us about 5-6 months, historically, to kind of really vet the guy out, to vet him out, be like, okay, yeah, good, bad, whatever, we can figure it out, and then we don't like convention. So what would happen is, remember, there is no convention in 27 national anyway. It's every 2 years for national.
Yeah.
So all the states will do their 27, everything's fine, and then when they get ready to head into national in 28, all the states have already figured this out.
They've already done their voting for. They already know who their presumptive. I like it. Now it makes total sense. There's no crossover 27, 28. So I like it. Yeah.
All right. So I want to give
Go ahead.
Update real quick to everybody watching. We're well over 1,000 people right now. Thank you very much for watching. Wendy had a campaign event tonight, and she is trying to make it here. I can't say for certain, but this is a great conversation. I want to get to this comment from a friend of the show, Kenneth Blevins, out of the great state of Oklahoma, great libertarian over there. The assumption is that news stations would cover non-novelty LP candidates because, you know, I think the last time we got national coverage, I think it was in the great state of Florida when a guy walked out on stage. Was he butt naked or something?
Yeah.
What?
Let me show you what he did.
Not mention that. No.
Don't
you gotta
do that.
Gain about 100 pounds and grow a beard.
Yeah.
In a month.
I'm some time away from that one.
Yeah, and getting candidates on statewide preferential primary ballots would be would get some mention election night. So my thing to Tubbs, I think your idea is spectacular, by the way.
Now, hang on.
I'm shocked.
Hang on. Before we call it my idea, I'm not taking credit for all of this. Okay. It started with Spike saying, "Hey, what if we went here?" And it just kind of grew. So, and then talk with Stephen DeKill. So you can't say it's mine. It's not mine. It's a share.
Well,
I also said publicly, maybe on this podcast, that I definitely said on social media, I wish the Libertarian Party chose their candidate sooner. I didn't. That's as far as my plan went. Hey guys.
So Eric's involved in this too. Yeah. Eric is actually the real pusher behind
He's the godfather of this idea.
But I'm not putting horse heads in people's beds. Anyways,
maybe it's time to do that. Maybe,
you know what? Whatever.
It worked. It worked.
But I would ask Tubbs, Spike, and Stephen Nikela, where do the caucuses fit in this matter? Because my understanding,
first off, this is a family show, so
stop listening. Nobody's having caucuses.
Marcus, I kind of answer that like that is part of politics. Politicking is trying to become a delegate at your state level to change platforms and all that stuff, and then to make it to national. The major parties do that. It's a big deal. It's how, I'm just saying the Ron Paul revolution. Ron Paul people were pushed out of the national convention in 2012. You know what I mean? Because they were acting like a bunch of bearded, shirtless libertarians. I'm just kidding. They honestly, what was done to them was wrong. That is a part of politics. Is you gotta stump for your guy and get him, get other people
over the top,
support your guy as much as you do. You know what I mean? So
we
would have all had to go. I say all.
So let me ask you this. So I understood that Mises caucuses had. The Mises caucuses had a grand representation. The Mises caucuses. I'm going to keep saying caucuses all night long because it bothers you. It bothered you people.
No, you're going to say it all night long because you can't say it right. Is what it is.
Mises caucus.
Mises caucus. Your caucus is that bone that's in your bottom, bro. That's what that is.
Coccyx.
Coccyx.
Hey, wait. We got the first. We got the first points of the night. Plus 100 to Tubb for the based idea and thinking outside of the box. I'm gonna say I'm taking away 100 points from Tubb for standing up.
No,
and
you're losing points for coccyxes. I'm taking away 13,000 points from you, Marcus, for coccyxes.
Hey, just start running the numbers for now on our show. That'd be fun.
Yes. I'm going to win one.
Mises, I'm not even going to say caucuses anymore. I'm just going to say, that's the last time.
Mises folks.
The Mises dudes presented a challenge to a lot of people with their, they were standing on business approach attitude where they weren't budging on certain things. And I heard it presented itself as an impediment to, I'm not knocking them. I don't dislike them or whatever, because libertarians need to look past all of that and understand the big picture. But what I'm saying is, how do we make sure things like that aren't affected by, the states doing the voting early?
Because there's going to come a point when you go, the numbers don't lie. Like that's going to be the reality of it. When you're going to go, hey, listen, I get what you're saying, and I don't know as a caucus that you guys may feel this way, but you don't have the numbers. So guess what? You're grandstanding and trying to hold this off is not going to work because it's not going to be there. Here's what you do: start doing that in the states. Instead of trying to drag out national, go to all those state conventions, make your caucus stand for your candidate in all those states, win all of the primaries, if you will, get the numbers, and then when you get to national, it's a non-issue. Because if you stop and you think about it, so Eric, you were there, Marcus, we care, so we travel because we care about the party. You just sit in your garage and do this. So Eric, look at how much time, we wasted at national. Just this back and forth of cutting people out, figuring out what we're going to do. Like, remember, we almost had a NODA become our candidate. Yeah. Okay, so it was all I'm just going to call it what it is. It was all childish game.
Yeah. So
that's all it was. It was people, and I'm not picking both sides of caucuses, but it was a bunch of people pouting because they weren't getting their way. So here's what I'm gonna tell you about caucuses real quick. Go ahead.
Caucuses.
Could we do a thing?
There you go.
Also, look, because there are multiple caucuses in the party, but there's one Mises caucus for now. But I'm just saying a couple things, and I haven't been writing my notes down because I've been actually interested in this conversation. I'm not a huge fan of Angela McArdle at all. I've been pretty critical of her everywhere on social media. But she even admitted the Mises caucus candidate was not a good candidate, Rechtenwald. And my thing is he's a perfect guy to have as a speaker at a convention or involved with the party or, Dave Smith is invited to every convention and given an opportunity to speak or do whatever. And he wasn't a candidate. That could have been Rechtenwald. And
I liked him. We had him on the show. I like Mike Rechtenwald.
Was it the presidential election before the Mises Caucus guy was Jacob Hornberger, and then they dumped him because he was too much of an anarchist for them, I think, because he's a legitimate ANCAP. Hold on, Tub. I'm trying to finish this thought. My point is a lot of those games happen because a lot of these people see this party as a way to gain followers and notoriety and fans or whatever. And I'm saying this
clout chasers.
Yeah. I'm saying this as kindly as I can about people that I still like Jacob Hornberger, even though I disagree with his mailer he sent out dogging out our boy Larry Sharp. I still like what's the guy the cop or not the cop? Yeah, Terry Matt.
Mike.
I still like Mike Trematt, even though he's a Republican now. I still like Charles Bailey. You know what I mean? Like, even though I don't think we ever got Charles on the podcast.
No, we didn't.
But Bailey, sorry.
Bailey,
I don't want to run them out of the party. And for what it's worth, I'm okay with Rechtenwald. He did definitely go full on, after the convention, but he was done wrong by his own caucus. But my point is, Angela McArdle's now the Mises Caucus chair. She even admitted Rechtenwald was not a good candidate. My point is, with Tubbs' idea, you get 10 states in and realize Rechtenwald isn't going to get the votes, or he does something boneheaded, or he just has a bad performance. And you're like, or the caucus starts to see this isn't going our way. They could have came after Lars and be like, we want to dump Rechtenwald and pick up Lars, or Rechtenwald could realize this isn't going where I want it to. I'm going to drop out and endorse one of these guys, hopefully to be get their endorsement for VP, and then they switch gears. Then they start campaigning state to state for VP instead of president, which happens in the major parties a lot too. Somebody I didn't win, but whatever. They drop out.
So imagine if Rechtenwald won by October. He became the presumptive candidate. And then he spent 5 months going out there. We were able to go, whoa, all right, hang on, not what we thought. And so it could be the Mises people, it could be the other ones, whoever it is their candidate is. If you go through that time, you go, oh, this isn't what we thought. It gives us plenty of time. Like with Rechtenwald, you know what really ruined it for him? That one night at convention.
The gummies.
Yes.
Gummy
like that. Now, imagine if we had 5 months of preparing. Now, here's what I'm going to add to this. So we're talking about Rechtenwald. So I had to talk with a number of Mises people at convention, after convention, all type of things about Rechtenwald specifically. Now, here's the thing. I had no problem with Rechtenwald. Like, here's the thing. His ideas as libertarian ideas, pretty solid. Like for real, pretty solid. So I'm like, okay, but here's the thing. And what people don't understand, and libertarians do not understand, okay? And I'm going to say this because this isn't just for this. It's for all candidates under the Libertarian Party, okay? You can have great ideas, but if you are the person that people can't take seriously for whatever reason, you're done. You're done. And Rechtenwald was a perfect example of that. Ton of ideas. And I tried to explain, I said, guys, when I say he was a bad candidate, I wasn't talking about his ideas. His ideas are solid, but socially very awkward. Very awkward. Like, I had conversations with him first here. Remember when he came down here to our convention here in Duval? And he came to our meeting there. Nice guy, but he's just not very outgoing. He's not very personable. He's not the type of person. He's very intellectual. And so that doesn't always come across well to just regular dumb people like me. Yeah. So inside of this, we can look at that and we can go, great ideas, but he can't relay them well. And as a candidate, if you can't express your ideas well, you're done. And so we have to understand that factors in, and that's the beauty of what we're talking about. If we find out in October, great guy, we'll choose Rechtenwald. Yeah. Imagine you go, great guy, great ideas, we're on board. And then by the time May or whatever runs around, you go, whoa, this guy's been doing some interviews. Great mind, great ideas, but nobody's picking up on this guy. We have to change him out. And then we don't have to hijack the national convention to start finding these things out. Now, real quick, because you brought up caucuses first. Now, here's what I'm going to tell you. Caucuses can do their thing. I don't believe the Libertarian Party does caucuses right. Okay, because here's what it's supposed to be. Like, you want a caucus to come in, that you get your people that you share ideas with, and you just kind of want the party to take on some of your ideas. Okay, caucuses inside the Libertarian Party want to take the party over. Yeah. And no, I want caucuses to be in place and work with the party, not look to take over the party. And so inside this, I sometimes suggest that maybe the Libertarian Party doesn't need caucuses. We're not big enough.
I agree.
Because caucuses start doing this, and we already do that enough. I'll give an example. So inside the church, yes. So you can work with people, come up, like, that's fine, but I'm not trying to take the party over. So inside the church, a lot of churches, will have like small groups and stuff like that and everything. And when your church is big, you have to have small groups to give people ownership. So they all kind of fit in. When your church is smaller, small groups are unnecessary because everybody kind of, all right, we're all in here together. We're good. Same thing with the Libertarian Party. We are small enough that we can go, hey guys, we all have ideas. Let's see how we bring them together. Instead of, I'm going to take my quarter of the party, they're going to take their quarter of the party, and we're going to become so loud, and we're going to take everything over that the other half gets pushed aside. And that's where the idea of having straw polls throughout the states will help solve some of that. Because they no longer have the ability, because the only way you're going to pull that off is to hit every single state and do all of the work to make sure your candidate becomes the one, and not just something you do last minute and national.
Well, well, Eric, real quick, I'm not saying this because I'm a libertarian, but libertarians are undoubtedly some of the smartest people I know. Mm-hmm. And the overwhelming majority of the bigger name libertarians are entrepreneurs that sold a business very young, and they're living off of the profits of them selling businesses, or they're currently an entrepreneur and they understand how government interferes with making a living as a business owner. Why do all these intelligent people not understand the fact that the strength of a party is in unity and not in this individualism? Don't get it twisted. individualism is the basis of a republic. But when it comes to party politics, if you want to be the individual, and we've seen this fail over and over again with libertarians, why aren't we smart enough to understand that there needs to be a common factor, common ground, common denominator that we need to stand on before we say, I'm in the Mises caucus, or like myself that wants to start the Wu-Tang caucus.
There you go.
Why can't we coalesce around liberty and not around this individualistic dichotomy of BS? Because that's what it ends up being.
So ours just really answer that, because that's the question that's been going on forever. Like, why can't we not just find the things that we have in common and let's focus on those? Like, because here's the problem. I think that even when we run candidates, we focus on too many things. Like, we just do. Like, dude, okay, I understand we have a lot of things internally as libertarians that we like to, hey, this is our topic. But we have to also understand that when we get out, well, okay, I'm not gonna use the term normies like some of the libertarians do. When we get to people outside of the party, they don't share the things that are our concerns. It's not on, to them, it's not on their radar. So if we can start saying, hey, I know we have a lot of things that we get worked up about, but here are 5. Like, here are 5 things. And actually, Dave Smith tried doing this. He tried saying, and you know, I've never been like a huge fan of Dave Smith. I'm not against him, but I think he's a great spokesman for the party to go out and like, hey, here's liberty. I think he does amazing things. I don't think he would have been a very good candidate for us or anything. But inside of that, I've heard a thing where he was specifically saying, hey, here, I think he did 5. And there were 5 like, hey, let's focus on this. Let's focus on this. Let's focus on. I'm like, yes. Now, here's the thing. Maybe there was one that I was like, I don't know about that one. But it was the idea. We got 5 things that we can start saying, hey, this is our focus. Let's focus. Now, individually in our caucuses and stuff, we can have these other things going on. But as a party and as a whole, we need these 5 things to be important. And if we can name these 5 things, it becomes easier for us to choose our candidate. Because it's going to be, okay, does that candidate have good ideas for our 5 things? And if they don't, they're not our guy. Yeah. And that's what happens. And the problem is libertarian caucuses don't focus on that. They focus on the thing that they want. That's it. And they forget about the other things that can be drawing us all together and maybe actually accomplish something.
Hey, Eric, leading into your segment, can you read this comment from that Liberty lady?
Yeah, that Liberty lady Tubb says, yo, why is Tubb so short? Just kidding. Says, why is Tubb standing?
Yeah. And then she
said, I can do this. Look.
And then she says Tubb is getting rowdy. So Tubb is trying to say he's the more dominant podcaster on this podcast.
He's 100% upstaging.
It didn't
I
take
can't do that. I'm too damn tall. I would have to put.
Well, you're in your garage.
Yeah, but there's like the wall behind me is maybe 6 feet away. You're not getting my whole frame, and it's not happening.
Stand up real quick.
No.
You'll get up.
I don't think you
I feel like
have legs.
He stands
I don't
up,
think Marcus has legs.
I don't think he has pants on.
No. Marcus, keep your hands up at all times.
All right. Anyways, so like here's my problem, I guess, and I had a thought and I forgot it, but I think if I just start talking, it'll come back to me. With the caucus is my problem is that they aren't willing to recognize when they're wrong early enough and change their stripes.
Yep.
And what I kind of mean by that is like, had early on they said, I don't know that Recktenwald is going to get the votes, or we can get behind this guy or whatever. They already had so much, or they thought they had a super majority because of the way they swept 2022's state conventions. You know what I mean? And then the reason why they swept 2022 is because they were telling everyone Dave Smith is going to be our candidate.
Yep.
And then they didn't choose a good candidate. And I don't know if they could, honestly, had they just stuck with Jacob Hornberger,
who was their guy in the last presidential election, I think, or something, and then they dumped him. He didn't obviously become the candidate in 2020. If they had just stuck with Jacob Hornberger, he would have likely been the Mises Caucus guy in 2024 and could have probably beat Chase. I mean, I'm telling you, like, I was at National Convention. His speech was fire. And up until his speech, I had never really given him any credit because, once again, like Tubb said, he was that socially awkward academic, Jacob Hornberger and Rechtenwald. But on that stage at convention, I kept going over because we were standing in the back kind of a lot of the convention and just BS with each other. But I just walk over like, dude, he's spitting hot fire right now. You know what I mean?
I'm Dylon.
Yeah,
Was he
Dylon. Anyways, but I'm just saying, like, that was the problem, though, is like the Mises Caucus. I guess what I'm trying to get is like, there's another caucus out there, and I'm not a member of any caucus, but the Radical Caucus kind of does like a ranking, like a voter guide, but it's not like this is our guy voter guide. Like, we like all of these people for these positions. Is they take all the candidates and they give them a score, and it's a scorecard. And it's like, that's if you're a caucus and you want to do that, like, we rank this guy better. But that's my thing is, I bet they would have probably ranked Hornberger higher than Rechtenwald if they took some survey or something. You know what I mean? For what Mises Caucus said they were about.
All right. So here's the thing. What this would solve, and like I said, it gets rid of the caucus issue, if you will. So think of it this way. So, all right, y'all know I know Chase. We all know Chase. We all know Chase. We all know Chase personally. Okay, I got no problem with Chase as a guy. Like, okay, we got things we disagree on, but it's okay. And so inside of that,
Chase is gay.
Here's
for
the
those
thing.
that don't know.
So here's what happened. How many of us realized that after he got the nomination, he changed some? Like, there are certain aspects of from what he did running up to convention, and then what happened after convention, he changed. Now, here's what happened. The biggest complaint that I have against Chase once he got the nomination, it seemed like, I'm only going to say the only way I could think to say it, okay? And if he wants to text me after and yell at me, that's fine. I guess I owe it. Here's the thing. He avoided certain interviews.
Yeah.
He avoided places that could have truly brought him good, positive attention. And I think what it was he thought some of them were going to be unfriendly. Okay, well, we're libertarians. And here's the thing. And the way I kept saying was this. If you can't handle friendly fire, because listen, like, he didn't go on Dave Smith's show. He didn't go on TimCast. He was invited on. Now, overall, I think TimCast, I think Dave Smith were both going to be friendly fire. You know what I'm saying? I don't think they're... Now, if you're afraid of friendly fire and you think you want to get on the platform of Donald Trump, dude, you're going to cry. Like, it's not... Like, you can't handle this. You can't handle Donald Trump. That's just the reality of it. And so imagine now, go back to the plan that we put up. Let's say we find this, and we'll use Chase as our example for a minute. So let's say Chase still got the nomination in October. And then we start realizing, because...
7.
Now, right. So now here's what I'm getting at. So I'll give you an example. So there's a guy who is on satellite radio, which is national. In fact, they go to Canada, they go everywhere. Okay. He's on from noon to 3 every day. He is the only reason that I have Sirius XM. Only reason. So this guy has this talk show, and he is very, very friendly to libertarians. He's a Republican. He'll tell you he's a Republican. He's fine. But when he discusses libertarianism, he always says it in a positive light. And every single day, he will mention something about how libertarians have the right idea about this or that or whatever. Okay? So for numerous times, I know 4 times that I happened to hear him specifically, he said Chase Oliver by name. He says, I want Chase Oliver, the libertarian candidate. Now, this is before convention. And he says, I want Chase Oliver because it looks like he's going to be their candidate. I want him on the show. 4 times I heard him say it. The 4th time I finally said, I texted Chase. I said, Chase, you've got to get on. He is friendly and he wants you on. It's a national show. You're not getting better than this. It's not getting better. And then he goes, well, do me a favor. Just send the information over to the one who sets up my interviews and stuff. Nothing ever came of it. It dropped off. And I go, you missed out on a huge opportunity. At best, friendly fire. But inside, here's what would happen. So imagine Chase got the nomination and he become the presumed candidate in October, November or so. Now we see for the next 5 months, he's not doing big interviews. He's not going out and, hey, this should be national. And then you start going, whoa, whoa, whoa. Our guy has now had 5 months. He avoided big, important interviews. He's not going to do us better when everything starts moving.
Yeah.
And then you have the opportunity at that point right there to go to national, go, hey, we thought he was our guy. He seemed good. We've seen him out on the campaign trail now, and it's not quite hitting the way that we need him to. We can still get rid of him and start over. Now, here's the thing, and I've said this once before, that if we go to convention national, and the person, whoever it was for 5 months, was unimpressive, and we dumped them, we are absolutely no different than we are any other year. We're going in there with 5 possible candidates, and we go down the list again. The only good thing is we can go in there going, not that guy, not the guy that we thought was our leader. And we got rid of one, and so we're doing the same thing anyway. So technically, we have nothing to lose by implementing something and giving it a try. And when you think about it, it's going to reach on different levels. It will get to the state. Listen, it'll hit your local levels. You can start going to your city affiliates, your county affiliates, and start going, hey, remember, we want to go to the state if you want to have input. Because I can tell you about a number of people who go to state conventions but never have a single desire to go. In fact, I did that for years. I would go to state and I really didn't care a lick about national. Didn't care. So now imagine you get those people say, hey, from your local affiliates, hey, we want to go. You want to go to state. So you have influence on that presidential candidate, even if you have zero desire to go to national. But now, here's what happens. Now you're getting a voice of all of the libertarians across the country that went to states, as opposed to just the ones that went to national. So now you have a bigger voice, and you're getting a better understanding of who people really are supporting.
So let me read this comment from that Liberty lady real quick. Larry Sharp is trying to get on every podcast he can. You should see the hate he gets in the comments from these unfriendly podcasts. And that's what we've been saying here on this podcast a lot, where the Libertarian Party has failed is the same way that Kamala Harris failed when she didn't go on Joe Rogan, when she didn't do Theo Vaughn and all of these other podcasts.
Yep.
Because she failed to reach the people that put Trump in the White House, which was the youth vote. Nobody watches Fox News and MSNBC below 34 years of age. Nobody watches that crap anymore. Nobody has cable TV. They have streaming services and their phone where they watch their chosen forms of media. And it's these bigger podcasts. The Black Powder podcast will be one of those in the coming future. But it's those podcasts where people are getting information because they're getting everyday American opinions like you're seeing here with the Florida man, the North Carolina man, and the man from the 5th largest economy in the world, which is probably more important than both. So what we're seeing here, you have to go to where the people are.
Yes.
Wait, what?
So for clarification, Tub, the straw poll done in 2027 at the state convention is non-binding, but is there a way to where you choose your delegates before the straw poll and then the only people in the straw poll or do you want everyone?
I think everybody that's at your state convention, everybody that's a state delegate should be allowed to vote
in the straw poll. But is there a way where we can, I guess you could do exit polling and see like, hey, are you a delegate? Who'd you vote for if they're willing to answer? You know what I mean?
No, it's going to be, the only thing you won't know is technically who individually chose. But what you'll get, once you've done your state convention, you're going to know in the state how many people voted for each candidate. You're going to know the numbers. You just want to know the exact person. But yes, you definitely could. And then you can start saying why. Why'd you vote for that person?
At state convention, we choose let's just say the number's 50. I don't know what it is. It could change. But they choose their 50 delegates, but 100 people vote in the straw poll. There could be, and then 2 candidates one gets 25 and another one gets, 22. But you don't know if the delegates that, or the who voted for who. You get my point?
Right.
Like
Yep.
it's still strategic. You still don't know 100% how things will turn out national, but it is a way, and I think that's kind of the goal. It is a way though for like the guys that are in last that are getting 4 votes
to go
by
nothing here.
Yeah, they drop out and endorse their favorite, hopefully, and you get my like just be mature about it. Like I don't got any support from my caucus or the other caucus or the people that aren't caucusing. I don't have the support. I need to drop out and endorse and see what I can get. You know what I mean?
So remember at national, Eric, and you'll know this because, all right, so remember when I was going to file my paperwork to run for VP?
Yeah. Spoiler alert.
So, yeah. Well, no, but remember before last one.
No, I'm kidding.
So I had so here's the thing. So I had told people that I would run, like I considered it. I'm like, okay, I'll be open to it. And I remember the Sunday before convention. I remember right where I was. Chase had texted me and he goes, "Hey, do you have time to talk for a few minutes?" I'm like, "Yeah, what's going on?" So he called. He's like, "Listen," he goes, "I would consider you for my VP." I'm like, "Okay," and I'm like, there was nothing. I'll be very clear. He didn't promise anything. Yeah. And inside that, he said, "Listen," he goes, "I can tell you this." He goes, "One way I know that I wouldn't choose you if I could would be if one of the other candidates dropped out and became my guy." I'm like, I get it's politics. I got no issue with any of this. So we got to convention, and I remember I submitted I submitted all my signatures. Remember, I put them all in. And then remember they called me up and they said, "Hey, I had to get it was like 10 or 15 more because they were double signed." And so remember I went and I got it. Remember, Eric, I had them all. I had all my signatures that I needed. Remember we were at lunch and I had all that stuff there. And I just kept telling you, like, no, you know what? I don't feel like this is right. I don't think. And so I actually went and I pulled my other ones, pulled it out. I said, "Hey, I don't want to be considered for this. I'm out." Because you know what it was? I realized it wasn't right for me at the time. Yeah. So I say all that because other presidential candidates could start going, just do what I just did and go, you know what? I would have loved to, but I don't think it's here right now. I'm done. And they just dip out. Like you said, be an adult about it, be grown and be like, "Hey, all right, I'm not going to waste anybody's time." Now here's the thing. I will tell you this, that once I said, because there were people who were expecting me to run. And so once I said, I did what you said, Eric, I did what you said to do. That's when I said, all right, y'all know I like Larry Sharp a lot. I really like Larry Sharp, okay? And that's when anybody who started asking me, I kept telling them, go for Larry. I told them all, go for Larry. Yeah. Go for Larry Sharp. Go for Larry. Go for Larry. Go for Larry. Because I still think that's how it should be done. Okay? Yeah. It should be done. And, okay, I'm willing to, but if I'm not the guy, great. I can support another guy. But we also saw some of them doing that. Remember when some of them started dropping out for presidential candidates? And they're like, "Hey, I'm out. I get it. Hey, go talk out. Go. I'm behind this guy now." Yeah. But now imagine if we could do all that and have all of that done by November.
Yeah, before you get to national convention, because there were times where it's like one of them would drop out and they couldn't get to a microphone. You know, there's not time, and it's against the rules to say, "Hey, I endorse so and so." You know, there's no way for them. You got 1,000 delegates on the floor. You can't go to every state. You can't. I mean, you could stand back at the back and shout it, you know. But but if you did it earlier, you could just use social media or do it as you bounce around.
Right, exactly. You know what? You're exactly right.
Look, and
you're exactly right. And when that happens, you can go, "Hey guys," months beforehand, like what you just said. Get on social media and go, "Hey, I'm behind this one."
Yeah, or when you announce like, "Hey, I'm dropping out and I'm endorsing so and so." That's the way that, you know.
Yep.
Where Chase messed up, and I say this because Chase is my friend. I love the guy. I hung out with him a couple times. Is choosing a Florida man. That's where the first part was, and then second part. If Tubb was Chase's choice, would Tubb be a Republican right now? Like Mike Tremont.
Like Mike Tremont? Maybe.
Oh, what is he talking about? Hey, listen.
Just give up on the whole thing. Listen. It's like throwing a towel. Drago is winning. You know, I'm done. I can't do this anymore.
The drama, and I think most people know this, like apparently Rectenwald and the Mises Caucus offered Chase the same deal Mike Termat did. I don't know, before or after. You know, that's like the horse trading or whatever. Behind the scenes, all the stuff that like, I don't know if when Chase gave you the phone call, Tub, if Mike Termat had already told him that. I'm guessing he did, and that's exactly why he mentioned that. But they might have all done that.
It is my understanding that none of that happened with Mike Termat until right before the final choosing.
The final
so
vote,
it happened
basically.
Yeah, once Mike realized he didn't have a path.
Yeah,
he found
Lars was out.
Politics.
Once enough people, let's say before Lars went out and the votes didn't jump to Mike Termat and put him over Chase, he's realized it. Basically, and that's my thing is like, this could all be done well in advance. Like at convention, I like Josh Smith. You know what I mean? And you know what I mean? Like
another person we had on the podcast.
Yeah. Like at convention, I liked Hornberger's speech. At convention, I liked Bailey. I don't know necessarily like this.
We didn't have we
Charles
were
Bailey,
trying to get him on.
Yeah, I don't know if I like the speech or he did anything, but he's a cool guy. He's a nice guy. I'm trying to think what other ones. I was obviously, you know, I was not a fan of Toad, but that's just because he wasn't a serious candidate. You know, my point, like Toad could have kept.
Who the hell is Toad?
Exactly. He could have kept going to all the conventions and doing his thing and not get the votes, but just be a goofball. If that's what he wants to do, if he wants to waste his time.
Yeah.
I don't know how many conventions he went to. I had this point earlier. Is there could there be a cutoff of like before convention if you don't have hypothetically 50 delegates, you won't be on the debate stage. You know, because if not, you're still going to get a bunch of yahoos that aren't serious. Or if you don't got 10
before national,
delegates.
you mean?
Yeah. So you know what I mean? Like if you didn't
national?
Yeah, before national, if you didn't win any votes in the straw poll, like set the number at 25. If you didn't, at the end of the state convention, if you didn't get 25 votes in each straw poll or whatever, does it mean you just don't get debate state? Because you get my point. Like you're in a bunch of toads up there. You know what I mean?
Let the math win. I say let the math win.
No, so here's
like if you want it to be
here's
serious.
How I suggest what you're saying.
What's that?
So here's how I suggest what you're saying, Eric. I would say no, not by each state. If they want to go to every state, they want to do the number, doesn't matter. Come on in if you want, because that just draws more people to the state anyway.
Yeah, no,
here's what I'm saying though.
Each state.
Yeah, but when you go to national, you say, hey, throughout all the states, I see what you're saying. If you didn't have 100 or 120, dude, we're not even going to. You're not getting time. You're not going to do these type of things. You're not going to.
I would just say 50 because that's a low enough bar.
You don't have a path, but they do that already. Remember, like when they're going through the rounds of voting, if you didn't reach the lowest one, you're dropping off anyway. It doesn't make any difference how many votes you got. If you're lowest, you're out.
But
so it's the same premise. We would just do it all before national.
My point is they all still got wasted 15 minutes of our time with some random joke. You know what I mean? Like, no offense to the ones that actually tried and didn't do good, but I don't think there were like we had a bunch of the ridiculous like people nominating people that weren't there. People nominated Trump, nominated RFK Jr., obviously those people didn't get speaking time. We wasted time with Angela McCardle making a BS phone call. But like, and then you had the people.
Hold on.
All right, go ahead.
I got an idea. Just based off of what you're saying right there. Okay. So here's what you do. So if you say we had 5 candidates who were actively running, the top one got it, the other 4 kind of fell short. Okay. So here's what we can do at convention. So the other 4 get a chance to speak. They still get. So we're not just bringing all kinds of new people up there. It's if you were already active by X time, you get your chance. Now here's what you do. So you say the top 4, they're going to get a chance to speak at convention at national. The lowest person of the 4 who had the least amount of votes goes first. Dude, you get 4 minutes. Okay? Then you move up. The next one that goes up, maybe that person gets 8 minutes. And then as you know, as you get closer to the top, they get a little bit more time to speak, because if anybody's going to win and do something different at convention, it's probably going to be those ones who kept getting higher votes throughout the whole time.
Yeah.
So give them. So hey, we're going to give you all a chance to speak at convention. Now here's what they can do. When they're up there, they can say, hey, I know I'm out. I'm putting my support behind this person.
Exactly.
And then so that way there, in case we've come to convention and we don't like the person that we picked, we can go, okay, pushing that person aside. Let's give our other 4 candidates a chance to speak, the ones who were running the whole time, and put the work and the effort in. See, we have to understand the work and the effort matters, because if you don't have numbers to produce to show that you're serious about this, dude, we're not going to waste our time at national. You got nothing. You're not making this a joke. You're not going to get up there and cause division and cause problems. You're not going to get it. So we'll be friendly to you. Here's your 3 minutes of talking time. Enjoy it. Have fun. And you did the couple more minutes extra that you get to speak. And that way there, if we dump our candidate, the highest one has now had a good chance to speak, and he's had a chance to win other people's endorsements.
Yeah. And if you're showing up and you're carrying like Florida's delegates, you know it coming there, but that's all you got. It might have been enough to get you on the stage, but it might not be enough to win. You know what I mean?
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
And you know that beforehand.
That Liberty lady wants to ask, Pastor Tubb is very animated tonight. How much coffee has he had to drink?
Look, hold on. Look, it's the difference of this. Well, okay, that is the difference of this versus this. See, look, what you got to understand, I don't even drink coffee. I've been cut way back all my tea, so I haven't even had that. It's water. But it's the standing. The standing makes it. Listen, I think next week we should all stand, all of us.
Well,
and just,
I don't know about
but
you
have a full week.
Next week
Too
we're
tired.
not on.
Yeah, next week.
Oh, that's right too. We don't have to do this next week.
Tubb and Eric refuse to spread the message of liberty next week, next Thursday, for some darn reason, and I don't understand why.
Yep.
I think it's a bunch of horse plop myself.
I'll tell my in-laws that's about as many views as we're. I'm just kidding.
But I'm celebrating the fact that we stole land.
That's right.
I want to get back to the original topic of tonight. Our guest,
Wendy
Higdon, she had a campaign thing tonight, and obviously she couldn't make it. But we still want to make sure libertarians understand the fact that we need to support candidates. This is a little bit bigger than local. This is a statewide race. She's running for state senate as a libertarian, a very good libertarian. And I posted her donate page right here. So if you have $5, $10, $15, $20, $25 or more, please take the time to go to her page right here at wendyforky.com/donate and donate, because we have to put our money where our memes are. We have to support the Black Powder podcast. We're quite successful because we did like a 4 to 6 week series on local candidates, and 3 of those people got elected. So we're not just sitting here spinning our wheels doing this for nothing. We're actually helping people get exposure, and this is what the Libertarian Party needs to do. And I'm not going to BS on this. The Black Powder podcast is one of the most premier libertarian podcasts that has ever existed, and we do things not because we're looking for profit or anything. Tubb said if we made money, he doesn't want money. And I think that speaks volumes. Now, if we make money, I want money.
I support that also.
I am a capitalist pig in every sense of the word. So
and sometimes you're not capitalist.
Well, you know,
I support
we spoke that in I thought it was confidential. So everybody out there, go to wendyforky.com. I always get a little chuckle when I say KY, and you know, we're not going to get into the pregame talk on that, but go to donate and give her a few bucks so she can make a splash. You know, I don't know what Pennsylvania did this last election cycle, but the Pennsylvania LP put some stuff together, and they got a whole bunch of local libertarians elected, and that's where it has to start. Like I said, we're refounding this party at this point because there was a lot of sabotage. I thought this last election cycle was one of our best next chances to make a splash on the national scene because nobody wanted either candidate. And you're seeing that right now because another guy from the great state of Kentucky, Thomas Massey, which is probably my favorite Republican at the moment, he's doing some things and holding people accountable. But this is the wave that's coming. This is the next thing that's coming where people are moving away from the duopoly. You saw people move away from the Democratic Party, and now that they're seeing the promises from the Republican Party aren't coming to fruition, they're going to move away from them. And we have to stand ready and tall as a party, the Libertarian Party, united under the banner of liberty to move this thing forward. And so with Tubbs, what Tubb brought to the table today, I hope you share this and go back and tell people about what the Libertarian Party can be and should be. And Tubb, I want to thank you. That's my closing statement for tonight as we approach. Okay, Tubb, he just left. Eric, do you have a statement you want to say?
Yeah, I think Tubbs might have lost his connection, but no, man. Yeah. Like Marcus said, this is important. We still want to support local libertarian candidates. They're still running their special elections. I don't think this is the only one. Please get involved. Do the best you can. It'd be really awesome if y'all go and support this candidate, Wendy Higdon, in Kentucky, because we know the Uniparty and the establishment is doing everything they can to uproot and run off liberty out of the state of Kentucky. So
word.
Go if you can.
All right, I'm posting the link. Oh, we're getting a little feedback. Tubb, go ahead and say your closing statement and end it with the lip read. Yeah. Hello?
Yep.
Yeah, well, we can hear you.
There we go. I couldn't hear you. I couldn't hear none of y'all.
Yeah, I want to throw this in because you guys put this on me when I had electrical problems. Tubb didn't pay his Wi-Fi bill. Shaking my head. You know, you people, I think the fact that Tubb's SNAP benefits didn't start coming till this week, that's why the Wi-Fi bill did.
I sell them 50 cents on the dollar to pay for my Wi-Fi.
Yeah, you know, whatever it takes, bro. Whatever it takes.
No, you know what it is? So here's why I cut back. So I'm not paying my internet because I decided to send $25 a month to Larry Sharp.
Oh, what about Wendy Higdon? Are you gonna chip in for her?
I probably will.
All right, so here it is again. Wendy for
no, hold on. Are you saying I'm not gonna do monthly? I'm not gonna do monthly.
Not monthly.
Maybe
I just encourage everybody to chip in for Wendy.
So shout out on that last comment from Carter Jones. He's a Republican in Jacksonville, but he supported me, and it's got him on the nasty no-no list by the Republicans of Duval County. So shout out to Carter Jones.
Yeah.
What did he say?
Yeah. He just said he's the one that said Tubb didn't pay his Wi-Fi bill.
Oh, all right. So I need you to do me a favor. Just go and block Carter Jones now. Completely on the scene.
He probably.
Well,
or Carter could come down the street and just put some money towards the benefit. Just throw it in towards the internet.
There you go.
I mean, I think we should always help the less fortunate because we will be judged by how we help the least amongst us. So, Carter,
wise words.
Please go down there, bring a couple packages of that ramen noodles for Tubb so he could have a decent meal. You know, some.
All right.
All right.
That
being said, this has been the Black Powder Podcast. Tubb, I'm gonna give you the last word before I do the live free or die.
Well, see you later.
So I guess Tubbs' Wi-Fi did not include audio.
Yeah, that's such a boomer move. Got his finger
Boomer!
over the camera while he's taking the picture.
Margaret, get in here. The internet's not working again. I can't get on my AOLs.
Carter says, my work is near Tubbs, so I can drop off some rations.
Tubbs checked out. We're going to check out one more. Boomer Tub.
All right. Hey,
All right,
we'll let Tubb
Yeah,
go
we'll
follow
let-
Tubb on Facebook. You'll see him rant about the government. It's pretty entertaining.
And go check out wendy4ky.com/donate. Give her some dough. Help out however you can. This is the Black Powder Podcast. I want to thank everybody for tuning in and getting with us. Wendy, we'll catch up with you at another time. We wish you the best. And I hope she wins because, this is what libertarians need to do. Win those local elections. A statewide election would be big. With that being said, live free
or die.
Boom. Here comes the longest pause in This is the Black Powder Podcast. Coming at you live and direct.
Your salty tears season my life. It's the Black Powder Podcast.